Yeah. So, anyways, if we had since if we weren't to do the podcast on Saturdays mornings, what do you guys think your Saturday mornings would look like?
I mean, we haven't done a podcast on a Saturday in a while now.
It's been like
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I actually enjoy it, kind of like sleeping
Having
in.
the day off type of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we wake up when we do the podcast on Saturdays. We wake up at like 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock.
Sometimes earlier.
Early,
Sometimes
bro.
Earlier, yeah. Early
When we
session.
first started off, remember we would wake up early to get the
Yeah.
podcast on. I remember one time we got to your crib exactly like at 8 o'clock.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I can't see myself doing that.
But
now.
I also feel like that, like, you don't bring the best version of yourself.
It's too early.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Like, you're
like-
just dealing with shit like at such like not even the birds are up, you know.
Yeah, like you're still barely, waking up. Like you're not fully energetic and ready to like go
right
until like you're after like
And
maybe like 12.
and it's crazy because we will wake up so early and we will get ready and then we would drink. We were drinking at like 8 in the morning.
I
bro.
remember leaving
That's
Gustavo's at 1 o'clock. I'm like, damn, I'm pretty fucking buzzed. And I'm like, holy shit, I still have the whole day.
That's true. Yeah, that
There's
is
a
true.
whole day ahead of us, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna drink later. God.
Well,
That
we
shit
are
would
gonna
get to
drink
me.
later actually.
Mhm.
We are gonna drink
You
later.
too.
Yeah.
You're gonna drink later.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna go
drink
to that shitty ass fire game that nobody's gonna go to. But hey, to each their own, you know. Can't say shit about it.
Okay.
But we got the Canelo.
Yeah, so
Monilla
yeah,
fight.
today is the Canelo fight. I'm hosting it at my place.
Hey.
Since my boy's always hosting.
Shout out to
he's the one, yeah,
Emily
shout out-
because she's the one that's actually be.
she's
helping
the one
out.
actually
Shout out to my shorty.
'Cause,
Yeah,
this
'cause
guy doesn't do
that's a-
shit besides sleep.
which is
Let's not go there. I don't want to cheat you right now.
But
But
bro,
no,
like okay,
shout-
okay,
shout out
okay,
to
that-
Table.
Yeah,
but
And Vanessa.
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
I mean,
Reese.
like I said, we don't have
Don't forget Reese.
we don't have a lot of
Space?
events like where we hosting things space.
No, I don't know.
I got more space than you.
Sorry,
fucker.
he lives in the cupboard of Harry Potter's little room.
That's
Don't mind my friend.
That's a good one. You gotta admit.
You shouldn't be talking either.
What are you talking about?
You don't got space either.
Ya cállense los dos.
Ya, calmados. Both of you still live with your moms. It's okay.
I don't want to laugh too hard.
You're like, I don't want to make them feel bad. Nah. Anyways, continuing from there. Yeah. So like, what do you guys think? You gonna be sleeping in if anything was ever to happen to the podcast?
Well, first of all, I'll say I'll actually have time to work on my car now because
That's good.
that's my
That's
only
good.
day off.
True.
So you feel like you would make it like a thing to where you're
yeah,
working on your car.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting though? Like I thought about that, and I've been trying to like think of ways that I could make kind of like money outside of my job. And I know DoorDash is like an option. So like on Saturday mornings, you know, you kind of gotta commit to having this, like being ready for this. But it's like then I could go on a DoorDash early, kind of like maybe start my day off early, finish by like 5 p.m. and still have like a good amount of my day left where I'm still making money on the side type shit.
Dude, I don't know. It's like I'm still gonna wake up early regardless. You know, I'm just used to just waking up early. Probably, I would say sleep in, but then again, I can't sleep in. You know, so honestly, like,
How's your rhythm like for getting up? Like, do you get up like automatically, or do you still need an alarm? Like for today, like Saturdays.
I put an alarm. Like when it comes to work, I put an alarm just in case. But sometimes I wake up before my alarm. But if I wake up too early, then I go back to sleep,
Yeah.
and then my alarm wakes me up.
But like today, like did you have to set an alarm
Nah, today I woke up at like 7.
automatically?
I woke up at 7 today.
I
yeah.
woke up at 5:30 today. 5:30.
So you've been up since 5:30.
I woke up at 5:30, went back to sleep for like another 20 minutes, and then I woke up at 6 for the cats. But like my body's already like I can't.
6.
Mm-hmm. I don't like. I don't
You're
like.
ready to go.
Like on the weekend, I don't like to sleep in. I just like because our bodies are so adjusted to waking up so early.
at a time.
Speak for
That's all I'm
yourself.
asking.
Yeah, like even on Mondays, bro. Like the day out before I go back to work, I'm like already up like at 6, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
I
Like
mean,
my
that's
body-
that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
To be honest,
So
I feel like your days go by like not how do you say this? They seem longer when you
Mhm.
wake up earlier because you got you already did so much by 10 o'clock and the sun
Yeah.
is just barely midway up in the
Mhm.
sky and shit. You know.
yeah.
So
Well, that is
that's
true.
that's
Yeah.
one thing I
That
want to
is
I
true.
really want to implement into my life, bro. Is actually getting up early and doing shit. You know.
Yeah, you don't feel like the day went to waste.
Exactly.
The best people wake up early. Like when you really
That
think
is true.
about it,
Yeah.
the most productive people do wake up early.
Yep.
I mean, not exception, but
But for you, like, would you want to do anything that like you feel like you missed
Well,
out on?
Me and my girl played tennis a couple times. Once.
A couple times.
times.
Yeah,
once.
Rafael Nadal over here.
I don't think that's called
Yeah,
a couple.
couple
The
times.
virtual tennis and shit.
But we played
You mean
tennis.
Nintendo Wii?
For real.
I think with having like that free time, like not doing the podcast and just having that free time, I think we'll probably go play tennis now.
cool.
When
That's-
she's
see,
off,
that's
because
dope.
she's not off Saturdays all the time, but sometimes she is. So I think the times that she will be off on Saturdays, I think I want to implement just us going to play tennis.
You know what?
Yeah.
If you guys like, I don't know if your girl's good at it, right?
Well, she played tennis a little bit, but I mean I beat her last time. But
Why do you want to play tennis with them?
I'm down.
Tennis
I like
sounds fun,
to learn.
man.
Yeah, I
Tennis
like to
sounds
learn new
fun.
shit. So
Yeah.
if you guys do it, I'm willing to learn
What
that
if
shit.
there's badminton too? No,
Badminton, it's a little
Yeah.
different, but it's just with the little
the birdie.
the birdie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one, okay.
But tennis is cool because like, bro, tennis is everything. Cardio, movement, your legs, your
dude,
arms.
that
and
shit is
Yeah.
rough.
Not that we were here hitting the ball back and forth constantly, but the time that we went and played tennis, that little amount of times that we did hit the ball back and forth like at least 3 times over the net, it was fucking fun.
But I think for beginners, it's like I feel like for beginners, you gotta try to give yourself kind of like give it like a pass.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna pass it to you, pass it back.
Yeah.
Rather than
Yeah,
trying to beat
rhythm.
each other.
Try-
no,
Yeah.
that's how it was at first. It's trying to like be able to hit the ball back over and come, back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
We did that like, a couple of times, and that shit was fucking dope. I was like, oh shit,
That's
like
cool.
we hit the ball back. So I think that I will implement that kind of just, playing tennis.
Shit, do it, bro. I'll go practice with a wall or something. You know.
Same.
I mean, they do have those though.
Yeah, they
I
do.
mean, they got like a tennis court right by my crib.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah. Like there's a park. I went there with my girl recently, cause I couldn't really go to the gym because it was after yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was after they took my twisting teeth out. So I just went. My girl had like a little run, like a little jog, and my ass just sat in the bench, reading comics and shit. I was just like, I'll just sit here, read my comics, and then you could
Peaceful
do
as fuck though, right?
peaceful, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a different vibe for sure. When like I put some lo-fi music in my ears, and I was just reading, bro. That shit. I want to do that again.
Where you're like under a tree and shit like that.
yeah, shade.
Sitting on the
Damn,
bench.
that's so
Yeah.
picturesque, bro. What
For
the
real.
fuck?
But shit like that is like you could do that in your place because you got a balcony, bro.
Yeah,
that'd be
actually,
fucking
yeah.
dope.
Oh, that would be nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
You just sitting outside, and then you got the fucking trees to cover you from the shade.
Yeah,
Oh, my
but
God,
instead
bro.
you just sit
You
at
just
home
sit
and
at
go
home.
on Instagram. That's crazy.
sleep and shit.
Yeah, for real.
This motherfucker got a whole indentation in his couch, bro.
you see the couch all fine
It's
and shit,
shaped
and
like
then
him.
You get to like where I sit, it's like it's all caved in.
It's all
Even
fucking
the
shaped
air
up.
molecules are like shaped to where like he holds his phone and shit.
Oh, it's like the bombings. Is you know how they would leave like a shadow and
yeah.
shit.
Fuck
What
that.
is this fucking Pompeii? What the
the Nagasaki, bro.
Nagasaki?
That's crazy. I heard about that, but it's another story. But,
Yeah,
But that's what
Alright.
you feel like you would do on your Saturdays? Just-
yeah, I would do that.
Did you answer?
I don't. Did I?
I don't think.
Nah,
you did.
you haven't
No.
answered.
You're the last one.
But we don't really care anyways. Nah.
For my Saturdays, I think now since the baby is coming, I think that's just gonna take up obviously more of my
Oh,
time now
definitely,
on Saturdays. And I asked my girl, I'm like, is it cool like when you go to work on like on the weekends and stuff? Is it cool like if I take the baby with me like to do stuff, like? And she's like, well, what would you want to do? I'm like, I don't know, like take him to the park like with the stroller and stuff, or like take him to go see my family, or just like let's say go to the mall or go to Oakbrook. You know what I mean? Where like I could just walk outside with him and stuff like that. She's like, yeah, that's fine. That's what I like. I already envisioned myself doing with
But
like
don't
my
you,
son.
don't you? Sorry to cut you off. Don't you gotta wait a little bit? Because I think
Yeah,
when the
like-
baby is first born.
No,
like, the
yeah,
immune
like a
system-
first couple weeks, but like
Yeah.
this will probably happen like after my girl gets done with maternity leave. So this will probably be like until like September and stuff.
And she gets how many months? Like
3 months.
3 months.
It's
That's perfect.
It's usually
dude.
like 3 months for maternity leave. For guys, there's no
like
room.
just a week.
Imagine.
Go back to
You know
work
what's
the next
funny?
day.
No, it is
Yeah,
just
I
a
think
week.
it is. Yeah.
For what, paternity leave?
Yeah, dude.
No,
Well, for us in our companies, I think
Yeah,
it's,
it's
like,
I
like
think
2
most places are
For
like that.
our job, it's
I
2
think
weeks
for-
unpaid. We don't get paid for it
No, we don't.
At all?
at all.
Nope.
Not even
Yeah,
the
that
first week.
sucks.
Nope.
Nope.
You have to use your personal time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using like my PTO for.
Now our company
week.
is good, but it's not that good.
But you know what's crazy? When my mom told me, she's like, when she said she had my brother or my sister, because this was back in the fucking 80s, she said that like she was only on maternity leave for 2 weeks.
Jesus
And then she went back to
Christ.
work.
Damn, dude.
Dude.
Where the fuck
Mhm.
was the baby at? Where the fuck was your brother at?
I mean, shit, bro. Just
Grandmother, probably.
probably my grandma or my
Yeah.
tias that were helping, or the sitter that my mom had at the time.
Damn, that motherfucker's chilling in the bowl where they put the fruits and shit. Like they just leave him there.
A
Like.
pinche canasta. But yeah, bro, I just feel like my Saturdays would just be more involved
For-
with the baby and my girl.
With the child.
Yeah,
Which
man.
makes sense, to be honest,
Yeah.
at this point.
It's
It'd
just
be very
crazy.
concerning if that's what something that you were not doing.
Yeah, nah, I'm just gonna be on Instagram more.
Whole new chapter for real.
Seriously.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Compas y Chalas. It's your boy, Super Askizo, back here with another episode. But yeah, man, I'm here with my favorite compas. I'm here with my boy,
The Rolling Johnny.
okay,
All
my
right.
other boy,
Mega Memo.
and last but not least, my other boy.
Big Dick Captain Gustavo.
I guess fuck it, that works. But anyways, just to kind of start off with we're kind of branching out to what we were talking about earlier. You guys did hear us kind of talking about like what would we do if we were not doing our podcast on Saturdays, and the reason for that is we kind of came to a conclusion, and we talked about it as a group. It's getting to the point that we kind of feel like we're kind of burned out, in the sense we've been going back at it doing podcasts like every Saturday, and I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed that we haven't been kind of like being consistent for the past like month or so, I believe.
A month, maybe
About a
2
month.
months.
So, and then the reason for that is because we just been burned out. We got how many? We got 50 episodes, somewhere around there, 45.
50 for sure,
Around
more than
50
50.
episodes?
Yeah, more than
50
50
And
for sure.
those episodes just been constantly just every Saturday. Here and there we do kind of skip an episode, or we
We go back to
Or
back.
we
go
would
back
shoot.
to
Yeah,
back.
we shoot back to back sometimes.
And then I think it got to the point where we just want to take a break. We feel like we're definitely burned out, all of us. And then kind of just step back and then reevaluate how we're going to do things. Obviously, our schedules are changing. Memo's having a son, so that's going to take up a lot of his time, which is 100%, understandable because, that's his son. So, we just want to kind of like step back and then figure out what exactly we want to do with the podcast. We have a couple ideas in the background. I'm not going to say what we have unless you guys want to say what we're thinking.
Well, it's gonna be something we're gonna touch on for
Yeah.
sure. Like a couple of ideas we have,
But definitely the frequency of like how many times we post a month is gonna change. We were doing it every week, once a week. But I think now we might cut it to. We were thinking. I mean, it's okay if I say it, right?
well, I mean, let's just be clear. Like the pod is actually it's just getting cut off, right? For now.
for now, that's
For
the
now,
thing. Like,
yeah.
like I
We're-
think that's something that you kind of also said. You kind of like it's a hiatus. It's
Right.
not a goodbye to the podcast.
Right.
But
See you
it's,
later.
Mhm.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like we're just taking our time to kind of like look at things, see how things are gonna work out.
Reflect.
Yeah, just reflect on things, and from there we obviously we're like we said we're all burned out, but we kind of like started branching out, trying to like figure out what we can do with the channel and like what we can do to move forward with the channel. And I think one of the ideas that we had was maybe like uploading a vlog every here and there. And I think obviously all of us are just ready to kind of like give this a break, but at the same time it's like I feel like knowing us as people, there's gonna be a time where we're like, damn, like let's get together and like let's do a
Yeah, for
podcast.
sure.
Right.
Let's shoot a podcast. Like why not? So
For
I
old
thi-
time's sake.
for old
Right.
time's sake, but yeah, I think it's just like definitely like I don't even know what to call it.
I mean, I would say that's more of like it's like we're on a set of rails and it's just changed now. We're not on the same rail system. We're gonna change it technically to a vlog, and obviously we know that vlogs take time to produce and all that, so it's not gonna be an episode every single week. It'll be like maybe once or twice a month, maybe. I would say, right?
Yeah,
And
I think so.
I
think
can
that's
also say
accurate.
like I feel like a lot of times when we were doing the podcast, it was like obviously we will have to brainstorm and come up with ideas and trying to make it interesting for you guys to listen, right? And it got to the point where like yes, there's so much other shit that we can talk about, but it's like there's also a lot of shit that we can't talk about because we're not informed, and a lot of times we can't or we might not have the time to look for this knowledge when it comes to serious topics. And that's why a lot of times we were just kind of like fucking around, talking shit, just kind of like us talking as guys and being the boys and, talking about some random shit. And then whenever we kind of wanted to go into something serious, it was kind of hard because, trying to find the time to do the research. It's not that I'm saying that we didn't have time. right?
Mhm.
We did have time, but you're coming off work, you're tired, and then now you gotta.
We actually
Look-
have a life and shit.
Yeah,
Right.
we have our own personal lives,
Right.
and to kind of be in the background. But yes, it does take time to kind of like come up with ideas and, trying to make an hour-long podcast, which is very difficult to do and very difficult to stay consistent. So that I think that's another reason why we were kind of burned out, because they got to the point where I feel like, and I'm pretty sure all of us can agree to, we were just coming here just to come.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
to show
Yeah.
up.
And then we don't want that. We don't want to make it to a point where like, shit, like we gotta go do a
Make it a
podcast.
job.
It
in
kind of felt like it
itself.
was a routine. You get me?
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
routine, and I don't think a lot of us were. I mean, like not like we were invested, but we weren't. I don't think we were loving what we were doing in a sense.
I don't
you know?
think because like it's the way you said it. Like it's not saying that we don't have the time, because we
Mhm.
definitely did, and we have our personal lives. And you're saying like we come out of work and we're tired. And I think that's just me, like, as a person being like, oh, maybe that's just an excuse for me to try to find a way not to do it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think we all weren't just as committed
Mhm.
Yes.
to this as we thought
That's
we
a
were.
fact, yeah.
And initially we were, and initially I feel like the foundation of this podcast, or like what this podcast was literally just what the name is, compas y chelas. So us coming together, drinking beers, and talking about bullshit, whatever
Right.
it is that we want to talk about. And now it is hard once you want to branch out into a specific topic, because at that point everybody has to make research into that topic, and not all of us did that. And I myself included, I feel like in terms of research, there was hardly any times that I ever did research unless it was something that I actually really liked,
Mhm.
you know? So I think it's just all of us not really being committed to this project as we thought we were.
Mm.
I think that's just what.
I think you said it.
Yeah.
I think you hit it right on
Yeah,
the
well, I
nail.
mean that's probably one of the main reasons why we're actually taking a step back,
Mhm.
and we're gonna sort of reflect on this whole
Yeah.
whole thing, you know.
And also just consider like the frequency of how many times we were doing a podcast is like it burns you the fuck out.
Yeah.
Once a week
Yeah.
is
Once a week, and
Mhm.
then every week we have to make sure that we're editing for people that know how to edit, and you're editing an hour-long video and an hour-long audio. We all have learned to do that.
Mhm.
It takes a lot. We were using CapCut at first, and I know you guys are still using CapCut because you guys are comfortable using CapCut. But then me and Gustavo ended up branching out to another Adobe, and which is a
Premiere.
little bit more advanced, a little bit more harder to kind of like maneuver, and then that takes up a lot of time. And it's not because we're like, oh, we wanted to like see things and kind of like branch out from like different editing systems, because CapCut is easy. It's very easy friendly. But it was just kind of more like me and you kind of wanted to do that, kind of branch out into that. But like doing that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I,
I
mean,
think
Adobe isn't that's the one that's being used by like the major or like the professional ones.
yeah,
you
like
wanna say.
technically Adobe gets used to create movies.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know, like
So-
like the movies that you see on the big screen, Adobe could have been used for those, and it's user friendly as well, but not as simple and as user friendly as CapCut
It's more
is.
complex.
CapCut is like the ultimate level of like
Yeah.
user friendly. Like it's
Mhm.
easy. Like you could
Like TikTokers use it and shit. right?
TikTokers.
Yeah.
Everybody uses
Yeah.
CapCut because it's super fucking easy. But
Yeah.
you could definitely do more with Adobe Premiere
Mhm.
Pro. Like once you really get the ins and the outs, everything just becomes fluent. Every key is like a little shortcut that you can do to
Yeah,
like
you
kind
know
of
it.
start doing
Mhm.
things.
Mm.
But I think that's also like something that is how do I say it? That's definitely a factor into why I feel like it was also a burnout, just in terms of like the editing. And it's on top of the hour that let's say we filmed a 1 hour and 30-minute episode. On top of that hour and 30, let's just double it. Let's say you're editing for 3 hours, just because you got to find the cuts. You got to find where you got to like add certain pictures so people could kind of like understand what people are talking
Mhm.
about. And I'm not going to say all of us went over the top
Right.
with the editing, but I understand that, just because I understand how much it takes just to, you got to go on the internet, search up the
Yeah.
picture, save it, add it to the, it's like a
Mhm.
whole bunch that goes into it. And
Yeah,
I
it's
understand why everybody didn't go above and beyond to try to edit it, because like he said, on top of that, you still have a life that you gotta live outside of that.
Mhm.
It's like, like whether you're at home, and like, we all have, well, 3 of us are in a relationship. You gotta like also manage a relationship
Right.
while
Mhm.
trying to manage the editing, and like it's like so much that goes on top of it. Like it really is just life that goes on
Yeah.
top of the editing.
And there's one thing I do want to say is that I think I have to give a big shout out to everyone that's in this room. If it's with it being Jonathan, Oscar, Gustavo, and myself, I think you know, for you guys to take out. I think for everyone to take out the time of day to do an episode on a Saturday, because I think everyone could do something on a Saturday. It's the fucking start of your weekend. You're fucking off. Let's say you had plans with your girl. You had plans with your girl. You had plans with your family. Or, you know, I had plans as well. I think we all took the dedication to, like, take time out of the day to do it and to do an episode. And, you know, obviously shout out to the guests that obviously have came on.
Oh, yeah.
And,
huge shout out,
you
man.
know, and obviously took their time to be a part of that journey with us. And I think I just want to give a big shout out to everybody here. Just because it wasn't easy. You know, everyone decided to, okay, we're all going to do a Saturday. And this is the day that we're going to dedicate to the podcast. But as Oscar said, no one wants to wake up early because it's like, that's the start of your weekend. You get me? And then also, too, it's like, you know, like, obviously with Gustavo and I, we're the ones that were always hosting the episodes at our places, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we don't have a place to host.
He still lives in the dungeon. No.
Still in the cell.
But, like, you know, I mean, you and me, you know how it is. Like, we have to get, like, the crib kind of clean before.
Yeah, tidy up and shit.
You know,
Even-
before.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm like, we just have to get the crib clean. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to clean. I gotta clean the bathroom. I gotta throw out the garbage. I gotta vacuum the living room. Like, it's a pain in the
And
ass.
it's a weekly thing, which I guess at the end of the day, it is a good thing. Cause
It is a good thing.
Keeps you on
Yeah.
your- yeah, it keeps you on your toes and you gotta, like, clean up. But
So yeah, thank me, motherfuckers.
but yeah, it's like so much like stuff like just on top of it that kind of like leads us to like this situation that we're in now. But it's also like we're not saying it as like an excuse because there is no excuse.
No.
You know,
Right.
like we at the end of the day
We have the time.
we could keep this going.
Yeah.
We could keep it going.
But like, and sorry to cut you off. It's
Go
also
ahead.
like, you know, we are gonna keep it going, but it's gonna be less of what we're posting. But I feel like it's gonna be at a higher quality. You know,
and
because
more effort
now we're gonna have
right.
more time to like actually brainstorm and invest, and we're not gonna be like, oh shit, like we gotta fucking come up with a topic by Saturday, and we gotta get it out by Monday or Wednesday at the time when we were doing the Wednesday episodes. So it's kind of like now it might be we still haven't figured out our frequency. We're still kind of like trying to figure out how many times we're gonna post in like a month and whatever that case is. But I feel like now with not having to worry about doing it every Saturday and an episode is gonna come out every week. Now we can kind of be more relaxed. We can actually get to enjoy it instead of being like, oh, we gotta get this shit out. You know?
yeah.
It's like,
when
the
it
old
starts
saying goes, it's not quantity, it's gonna be quality.
Mhm.
Yes, and it's also like once it stops becoming fun, then it's kind of like you're kind of heading into a bad place, and that's why, and that's one of the things that we touched on very early on, because I know like we would kind of like talk about where we wanted this podcast to go and how we wanted it to look, and I think one of my biggest things is that I wanted to try to grow the podcast as much as we could and try to like actually make it a thing, and then like I think you also said like we also can't try to branch out too fast and make it more of a work thing, make it more like of a fun thing. And it's like, like, and that's where I kind of try to take in a backseat, like, you know what, let's try to make it as fun. And in the beginning, I was having fun. I think in the beginning, whenever I would get an episode, I would edit it the same day, have it ready 2 days later. Like, I would edit it so quick. But I've gotten to the point where I recorded, like, and this is me speaking right now. We recorded an episode like 2-3 weeks ago, and I still haven't gotten around to finishing the episode. And all I have to do is add an intro and an outro.
Right.
That's all I gotta do to the episode. But I'm still just kind of like,
You're looking at it like,
Whatever.
fuck.
yeah, it's kind of like, I'm kind of like burnt out.
Yeah,
you're done
that's
with
a big
it.
issue. Is like like you said, the moment it becomes kind of like a chore and you like
A job in
a
itself.
job.
Right.
That's when you start losing the fun aspect. I'm like, fuck, like I have to do this.
It's like
Instead
you're
of-
forcing yourself to like
Instead
something.
of like, oh
Kinda,
shit, dude,
yeah.
I'm so excited.
Right.
It's a big difference from being like, oh shit, dude, like I'm excited for this to like, fuck, I gotta do this shit. Big difference.
Yeah, because I think we've all had episodes where we've been excited for to do it. Like if it was like bringing Andy on or bringing Pookie on, like those are episodes that were like, oh fuck, that's exciting. Or like when we did our Christmas special, you know, like those are the episodes where we're like, fuck, like we're excited, we're gonna do this, you know. Whoever's gonna edit it, like it's gonna be cool, you know, because they could add their little razzle dazzle and shit, you know. But
See, and I want to touch upon that. I think that's one thing that we're definitely gonna need coming into the future, is once we bring the podcasting back, we definitely need to bring in more guests, because I feel
agree.
like because that they add a different dynamic, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we thank every single one every single person that's come on here.
Just on the top of their heads, Hyro, Pookie,
mm,
Tito, my brother,
Andy,
Andy. Raphael. Let's not miss any here. we didn't have a lot of people.
We could edit it anyways.
Henry,
Henry,
yeah.
oh Ivan,
Julio.
Ivan, bro,
Yeah.
Julio.
Julio.
So many people that have come on and like like the fact that they decided to take the time out of the. Did I say Tito? Yeah, I said Tito.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Tito.
Like the fact that people like came out of their day, like took the time out of the day to come on this podcast just to talk with
Your
us.
brother, your other brother, Louis.
Louis,
Yeah.
shout out
Yeah.
Louis, man. Like everybody, like
Fucking Oscar, he was our first guest.
He was our
Like,
first
Oscar
guest.
was our first
Yeah.
Oh
guest.
shit,
it's
I
like-
was. I forgot.
That's crazy.
It's been so
Yeah.
long.
Holy shit! But
Fuck
it's just
with Oscar.
shout out to all the people that
For real.
really like took the like, and we're sorry we're forgetting any names, but we're just shout out to any like people that took the time out of their day
Right.
to come on this podcast on a Saturday, like
And in the morning.
In the morning.
And
right?
wanting to drink with us, and they're probably not accustomed to drinking that early. Like, what the fuck? But,
Yeah.
they still did it, It was
yeah,
fun.
man.
So shout out to y'all for real, man.
I
And
think
and we're definitely gonna bring more and more of that vibe, like into. See, I want to call this. I don't want to call it an end, like or hiatus. This is the end of season 1.
let's say that.
Let's
Let's
Yeah.
put it
that
that
way.
because it's like like I know
It's
at the-
overdue. Definitely, like ending the season is overdue. Like
The season should have ended 25 episodes ago.
that should have been over like fucking 30 episodes ago.
well, I think at the end of the day, it's like we all still. I know that we all still kind of have that love for doing this.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
We all have
Yeah.
that. Like we all want to keep doing this. It's
I still
something
look
that
forward to coming to see
Yeah.
you fuckers, on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's just that we
fun.
wanna kind of like stop the frequency as how many times we're doing it a week. The reason also, like I said, we're burned out, but also to make it better, to make it more interesting and not feel forced that we're coming here to do something and then sometimes, we're just here like shit. Like, so what are we gonna talk about?
And I think also kind of like touching up on that, like how we talked about like maybe going into a vlog aspect of things. We do realize that vlogs are something that a lot of people really enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's something that's really popping off. And
I like that.
it's
shit.
always popped off. It's always
Mhm.
been a thing in YouTube. And I think just recently we had kind of like an example with the Fools or
Oh,
something.
these fools.
These
Yeah.
Fools.
Mhm.
My girl watches.
My girl watches them.
Yeah, which I didn't
Yeah.
know until like you mentioned it,
Mhm.
but like yeah, it's kind of like they make these vlogs, and it's like that's kind of what also I would want to bring because I think we have a great group here, great
Mhm.
group of guys that brings like a unique dynamic to the fold whenever we record. It's I enjoy hanging out with these guys. It's always a fun time, and we kind of want to bring you guys along for those moments that we do have
Where we do
sometimes
dumb
together,
shit, yeah.
or even just try to build like even just build a moment just for you guys to see as well, like going downtown to do this or to do that, just
We're gonna go see Fuerza Regida, in September.
which
so-
we are.
Yeah.
And then me and Oscar are gonna go to Sueños
Johnny Boy
with
too?
Johnny Boy
Yeah.
too.
What is it, like in 3 weeks?
It's like
Yeah, for
3
real,
weeks
it's
from
around
now.
the corner.
And that's gonna be a whole vlog right there too. We've been vlogging here.
We
and
have a
there.
Cubs game coming up, like
Cubs game. We're trying to orchestrate like
and then
little
a
Cubs-
Bears game as well.
a Bears game. I'm definitely going to a Bears game.
Mhm. We have a lot of things in store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
we
lot of
wanna
things
do.
coming up for sure.
That's what it's kind of like. It brings up blogging aspect of it,
Mhm.
because we have so many things that we're doing as a group, and then that's why like we want to integrate like that blogging aspect into the channel.
Yeah, and it's hard too, cause like, you don't really realize how like crazy it is. Like for your YouTubers that you watch, they seem so outgoing, and in the videos that you don't really think about it. But then when you're in real life and like you gotta bring that same energy, you're like, yo, what the fuck are these people around me gonna think? Right? Like,
Right.
yo, what's up, everybody? And it's like
Look
three
at this
people-
fucking
three
weirdo.
people looking at y'all
Yeah.
like.
yeah, you gotta
bro.
give credit to the people that go vlogging in like stores or like whatever. Like they go to fucking,
And they do like nothing.
they go to a Target or they go to the mall and they're vlogging, and then people are probably looking at them like, what the fuck are they on? It's
You know
like-
that happened to us recently when we went to go bowling too, because my girl my girl's very like self-aware, like she tries to like kind of like
Mhm.
very observant, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
So like we went bowling. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
And Askizo took his little DJI Osmo, whatever. It's like
Yeah.
it's
This
kind of
little
it's
thing.
basically it's like a tripod, He took it and we were like recording as soon as we got in there. We were trying to record a couple clips, trying to see if we could add it to the podcast. And my girl's like, people are staring at us. Like she's like, they probably think like we're like real life vloggers.
Vloggers.
Yeah, because I was like, what the fuck? Like for us, she's like, yeah. And I kind of like took a peek around the room and like you would see people like kind of just turning their heads and like looking like at what we were doing. I'm like,
They're like, can I get in it?
yeah, I'm like, holy shit, like
Yeah,
like,
because there was a group that asked me about this shit. They were like, bro, like what is that? And I was, oh yeah, like. this
Oh
is, like-
yeah, the group that was next to
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
I was like, it's a,
quick plug in, bro. Throw that shit in. What is that?
so this is a DJI stabilizer for your phone. You put it on your phone. It comes with like the little things to connect it. And pretty much what it does, as the title is a fucking stabilizer. You record and it's stabilized. You know, you can walk around and shit. And it's not gonna look all like wobbly and all
It keeps
shaky.
your phone kind of like in place.
Yeah, it
at
keeps
all
it.
times.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
and it has, you know, it has the cool features or
Has a face detection.
has
too,
a
right?
face detection. It has a
It follows you.
face tracking. It's pretty cool. It's a little on the pricey side. I'm not gonna say how much.
Just say
But-
how much it was. That's what the other group asked you.
How much was it? I think like
170, no?
170.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid like 170 for it.
And I know it seems a little pricey, but for everything that thing does,
Right, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
you
know
get
what's-
the bang for your buck.
You know what's crazy? When we went bowling and my girl saw it, and she was like, I think we should get it for when the baby comes, so like we could record everything. And I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a perfect idea.
It's like such a like at first I was like, damn, you just like
'Cause
spending money.
It's a stick
But
and
when
a
I-
stand.
But when we saw it, my girl was like, "Man, that's cool! Like, look at what
Yeah,
it's
it's
doing!"
just
Like,
rustful.
and she's not one to be in technology and shit.
Uh-huh.
But for her to see that and for her to tell me, she's like, "I think we should get this for when the baby comes, so
Mhm.
we could capture like these memories and these moments of like him walking and we're just grabbing everything." That's where that fucking. It doesn't even matter about the price. It's like this
Yeah.
is gonna catch the fucking
The
memory.
moments.
And
yeah.
I'm always harsh on like products because I try like the best to find reasons why a product is not good to like be like, oh, I shouldn't buy that because it's this. But for $170, whatever the price is, I think it's well worth it. It has all these crazy ass features. I seen fucking Asquizo getting into it and went to bowling. He was like trying to get his director's cut and shit. He was like doing all
Steven
this
Spielberg with
yeah,
it.
doing all these maneuvers. I was like, all right, bro, like yeah, it's good. You can move the fucking phone with like a little joystick that
Yeah,
they got. Yeah,
mhm.
it's so advanced, but worth it. Just a little quick plug-in because I think that product is really like
Mhm.
good.
Well
Definitely
worth it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but,
But just getting back into the side of like things of vlogging, it's very tough when people are not comfortable
mhm.
being in front of a camera
and then doing and blogging in front of people too, like in the public.
Yeah,
in the
because
public
public
setting,
public,
yeah.
right?
And that's something that we done a couple like small blogs, and then when you guys went out over there to where the fuck you guys go?
we went to Pilsen.
Pilsen, yeah. When you guys were
Yeah.
doing all the flyers, I'm pretty sure at one point you guys were feeling kind of a little
Shout out to
weird.
Johnny, man, because he was like getting out the car and just fucking slapping this shit on a pole and shit. Everyone-
Yeah.
And we were going inside restaurants like, hey, can we put this up? Like we went to like Carniceria Maribel. We were like, can we put this up? We took
Oh
it-
yeah,
real, yeah.
bro.
Like,
Yeah.
like, isn't it crazy, bro? Just like thinking about it, like all the fucking like memories that like we have with this podcast. Just think about it.
I think that's the most like, and it's gonna sound corny as fuck. Maybe it's the liquor time, but I think that's the most beautiful part of it. Like at the end of the day, like this was an experience in our lives. Where like 5 years from now, like even if it doesn't work out and we just kind of like move on, like it was a part of our lives. Where
It's like remember those times. and
yeah, when
shit,
we built these memories, and it's like I forgot about like some of the things we did that day, but it was fun, bro. We went to eat tacos. Then inside of that taco spot that we ate, we're like, oh, can we put this flyer up?
and he
they're
was
like,
cool. Yeah,
yeah,
he
he's
was
like,
cool,
put
man.
it up, like that's cool. And
And we
like,
got a boss ball. And we got some beer from the fucking
They're coolers
the
and
cooler,
shit.
yeah. And then I remember, that same day we had dropped off Gustavo, but then my car took a shit on the Harlow.
Oh, that was that
Yeah,
day, right?
Oh, that
it.
was that day.
Yeah,
Holy
shout out to you,
fuck.
bro, because you fucking picked us up. I left my car there so they could get towed on Monday, and then you fucking took us home.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah,
real.
I
You drove us all the way.
Yeah, I
home,
called you. I'm
bro.
like, hey, bro. You're like, what's up, bro? It sounded like you're already getting comfortable, like laying down. I'm like, can you pick us up, bro? My car took a
I'm like, are
shit.
you serious? You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, bro. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we
"Oh,
tried
fuck."
jumping it, and yeah,
I get there and I'm like, where's Johnny? He's like, oh, he went to get some coffee. I'm like, what the fuck?
you know,
It was hot, man.
you know what, you know,
it's like it's gonna be a long day today.
you know what I
Gotta
think.
stay awake.
You know what I think about, bro? Like, this is something that Gustavo brought up. Like, I think the one like memory that I think I carry with this podcast is the one day we went to Off the Tracks, we went to OTT, and like I had like brought up the idea. I'm like, we should do a podcast.
I still remember that. day, too.
I remember that day so
yeah,
vividly,
yeah.
and I'm like, we should do a
that shit was
podcast.
good ass day.
And hold on, I'll get to you right now.
Hey,
And
you were under the table.
you're like the fucking chicle under the table. But no, like I just have to give a big shout out to like you guys, just because you guys took a gamble on this, and you know a lot of people don't really take that kind of gamble of like wanting to do something like this and wanting to be a part of like this kind of like aspect of podcasting, because it is hard, bro. There's like so many podcasts out there. If it's like sports talk, or if it's like a Joe Rogan or an Andrew Schultz or fucking the Nelk Boys, you get me? Like
yeah.
there's just so many people that are doing podcast. It's like the new normal now.
It
That's
is.
what it is. You get me? And
I like everybody thinks they can do podcast, but everybody can't just do
Yeah,
a fucking
can,
podcast.
yeah,
Hey, That's
exactly.
us. Look at us, dumbasses, just making a fucking
someone said
podcast.
like if you have good conversations with people, you could do a podcast.
Yeah.
Straight up, you could do a
Yeah.
podcast. And I think if it wasn't for like doing the podcast, we wouldn't have gotten so close with each other, And then also too, it's like we wouldn't
That
have
is
been
true.
able to get close with Oscar and
Mhm.
be in the friendship that we're all in. You get me being close, and I guess they know it sounds corny, but like we're all best friends. You know, we're all like I consider us brothers, and I think it's we have a really good dynamic and we have a really good chemistry with each other.
Mhm.
Oh,
And then I would say that like this podcast has brought us really close, and I could also say like it brought like like we're all in relationships, right? Like and it kind of like brought the girls kind of close in a sense to where they hang out or like where we all triple date and shit. And, like, they're
yeah,
all
yeah, we're all having
comfortable.
hangouts and everybody.
What's the funny?
It's just like we're all in
It's 'cause you're all in
relationships.
Sorry, I
relationship.
mean,
And I look at this guy, he looks at me, he's like fucking ass.
sorry, Jonathan. You know what I meant.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
it's cool, man. Like like
But yeah, like, going back to what you said, like, we all got close, and then we have events with, with each other, like, whether it's going to your house, going to Gustavo's house. And then now we got like our girlfriends are, getting close to each other. They're hanging out with each other, talking to each other, and just like,
You know what's funny? It's one thing I want to say. Like, so obviously I'm the one that kind of like brought Oscar onto
Yeah.
the podcast because I started talking to him first, and we started getting cool first. Fuckers. But anyways, I remember like a week or two after, like. I remember like a week or two after he came on the podcast. He's like, "So you thought I was pretty cool, right?" I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You think I'm a pretty cool guy, right?" I'm like, "Why are you saying it?" He's like, "Well, because you decided to like kind of take me into the group, right?" I'm like, "Bro," I'm like, "Shut the fuck up."
you already got his pee-pee wet and shit.
Actually, I don't remember that. No bullshit.
Dude,
Bullshit.
No, I swear to God, I do
Get
not
the
remember
fuck
that.
outta
you must have. He's like, you must have thought. He's like, you must have thought I was like really cool to some extent, for you to like kind of take me into the
Those
group.
It sounds like me though. I will say that sounds like.
I
me.
remember you asked Jonathan and I, because we didn't know Oscar as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
He's like, "What do you think about adding Oscar to the group as like the fourth guy? Like, he could be like the Jamie of the group, like behind the scenes and shit." And I'm like, "He's cool. He's a little different. I like him.
He's a little
We were
different.
talking about that.
He's
We're
a little
like, he's
different.
cool. He's a little different.
At first, you guys were very.
We were hesitant at
indifferent,
first.
like
Yeah.
kind of like, huh? Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then I'm like, how do you, and I asked him, I'm like, "How do you feel, Gustavo?" He's like, "I think we should do it." I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And then Jonathan's like, "Fuck it, like let's do it."
Just fuck it, just
Yeah,
do it.
and then-
Yeah, well, it's because like you guys weren't very comfortable. Like,
Because
like,
at the moment, I think it was just a three-person
As a
thing, and
three-person
adding a
thing.
different person. I'm like,
We don't know how the dynamic
Yeah,
was
Right.
yeah,
Because
right.
we were hesitant on that. We didn't know how the dynamic was gonna be, but
I was like, he's fucking weird, bro. He'll get on your weird side. It's all good.
but you know what though? Like it probably was a big advantage
Looking
to
at
the
us,
podcast and also to like as a friend group because it's like look at us now.
Exactly,
Like,
right.
like
so if
It
there's one thing
fits-
the podcast did bring, it is this.
yeah, it
Yeah.
is this. It is this for
a
sure.
whole new friendship, like
Hell
a
yeah.
whole new
For sure.
thing to the mold, where it
Yeah.
kind of like fit right in.
You might be a little
Stamp.
weird, but you're fucking cool, and I wouldn't trade you for the world.
It's okay. We're all weird in our own way.
Yeah,
There you go.
we all are
Perfectly said,
weird.
dude.
I can't even
Yeah.
deny that.
So
But
I think one thing I do want to talk about is the friends and family that have all subscribed to Compas y Chalas, because I think it's cool when you see, like, we don't have a big amount. We don't have like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers, but we have 120 subscribers. And I think to know that like 120 people like just press that subscribe button to subscribe to the channel, it means a lot. You get me? And then seeing the views, like 300, almost 400 views and shit on certain videos, it's like, it's cool because it's like 400 people took their time to tune in and listen to us
our
speak about
shit.
bullshit,
Yeah.
you know, like the mamadas. But big shout out to all the fans, man, to all the
Real.
people that listen on the
This
day
one's
in,
for
day
y'all.
out. And I always told Gustavo this, like, I think it's such a cool feeling when like people were like messaging us or people were like for me, right? Like, people were telling me like, man, bro, like when's the next episode gonna drop?
Mhm.
Or like, hey, damn, bro, like that episode you talked about like men's mental health, or that episode where you talked about like going to go see Fuerza Regida and Ivan Cornejo, like that shit was fucking funny. Like, it's cool hearing shit like that from people that like you might have not even talked to in years, you know? Like one of my guys, like shout out to Orlando, he's like, man, bro, like you guys have such a good chemistry, and it's nice hearing that fucking feedback and
Right.
that great criticism from people.
because I mean,
Yeah,
you know?
what
for
we
sure,
do like is relatable to a lot of like friends of guys, like group
Yeah.
of friends with guys, because it's like we're just doing what the fuck we do, like just on a regular normal talking shit day, right? And then there's a lot of guys that have their own group of friends that they do exactly the same shit. Because I had a couple of friends that I bro like you guys are so fucking relatable, because like the shit that you guys be talking about is the same shit that I be talking with my boys. Like, you guys are fucking
Yeah.
relatable, because it's true. I mean, We did this just because we were just fucking around and
Mhm.
being a group of friends just doing dumb shit.
Right.
You
That's
know?
the one thing that I've gotten a lot of feedback for is like every time I listen to you guys, I feel like I'm in the table with y'all.
Yeah, that was
you
one of
know?
the biggest
I
things
fuck-
we always heard.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
fucking
felt like
love
I'm
that
there
shit.
with you.
Yeah.
Because we're just so
That's
relatable
cool.
and shit.
It's
Yeah.
very like I don't know, bro. Like it hits like a certain like feeling. I know it sounds
Mhm.
corny, but like hearing that, it's just like and like obviously what this episode entails and shit. It just feels like kind of like bittersweet a little bit.
It is
I-
definitely.
I'm
It's
not
definitely
sweet, bro.
bittersweet because then like now that we're like talking about like fuck,
I'll be
there's still
honest,
so
it-
much things I could talk to you guys about.
I'll be
know?
honest, like it makes me kind of puts me in my feels a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, you get me?
Not
Because
being gay.
but it's just like I don't know, man. It's just like you got to give a big shout out to the people that were a part of this journey for sure.
For
And
sure.
it's not a
For sure.
goodbye. It's just to see you later.
Did I mention Hyro in the like the guest?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Okay, I was about to say because that was like one of like
He's gonna be like, man, I ain't gonna. You're gonna pay more for that haircut today.
that was one of our best episodes.
That
I will
was-
see you today, bro.
That was
Yeah, for real.
that. Honestly, that was. I had like two. Well, you know, let me ask you. What's one of your favorite episodes from Compas y Chelas that we've
One of my
done?
favorite. I'll just have to say the mental health
Yeah.
episode. Just
With your
'cause it's
brother?
With my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's like we touched on
That
such
one
a
hit home. Yeah. For
we
sure,
we
definitely.
touched on such a deep level that I don't think like
Not a lot of
Peop-
people.
Not a lot of
people can
podcasts do
talk.
that,
Yeah,
dude.
they can't talk.
yeah,
It's
and I feel
very
like
hard.
not like myself as a person. I don't think I ever thought I could get comfortable to where I'm talking about it in front of a mic.
Mhm.
And there's still so much left to say about that certain situation. But whenever the time comes, because that shit would have me fucking crying if I ever really got so deep into it. But yeah, I think that was kind of like me sharing a bit of my story and like the way I felt, and then being there with my brother, him expressing that as well. It hit close, like it hit home for
Right.
me
Mhm.
personally.
Oh,
What
shit.
about you though? What about you guys?
Oh,
It's hard to choose.
It's
one,
hard to
bro.
choose.
Shit, when
Definitely.
I came in, that was my favorite episode.
I would agree with you that mental health because I think we all talked about in a whole personal level that we weren't comfortable talking about. Like obviously out on an episode and shit, but definitely the mental health episode like hold like near and dear to my heart. And probably the one with Hyro, man. I think it's just like you get exposed to a lot of information or what a lot of people think and stuff. And I think with his conversation, it was very like damn, it was cool. You know, it was very fucking effortlessly, and you know, having a guy like Hyro come on, it was cool, man. But I mean, every episode had something different, bro. Like every episode was different and cool. But if I go put two like near and dear to my heart, it's probably those two for sure. I would say those two.
Damn. I mean, it is fucking hard to choose one, bro.
I think the one that, and I'm looking at it right now, that's on my phone because we're not supposed to be on our phones, but the one that I really like was the one where I'm trying to find the fucking name.
I
of
feel
it.
like I know you. I feel like I know the
I
name
think
of
it
the
was
episode.
rated R Compass.
Yes, I already knew
Oh,
you were
bro,
gonna
we
say
had a
that.
Oh, that
fucking.
one was funny.
That one was
Yeah,
funny.
that one. I had such a fun time. That was like one of the like for the time that we recorded it, I'm like, damn, this is the most fun I've had. Like
Because
recording.
we were
it.
just
We were just
fucking
dying
We just
around.
went with everything we were
Yeah.
trying, bro. We are just like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah,
I think that was one of my favorite because it was.
that's up there for me too. Rated R
Yeah,
Compass.
you're
I
right.
love that episode.
I didn't even think about that till now, bro. I was gonna go with the same one you guys said. I was gonna be like, you know what? I'll just.
You know what's another good episode? The one where you came back from Mexico when you went to Guanajuato for like 2-3 weeks and you came back.
Is that the one where I was on the couch just like
yeah,
laid
and
back?
then,
Yeah.
and then we were just talking about like you're doing like psilocybin or some bullshit. Or you
taking
were,
peyote
Yeah,
or
yeah,
some
like-
shit.
oh, yeah.
I don't know why, bro. I thought that episode was funny, but no. Another good episode was growing up Mexican, bro, with the whole
That
like
one was good,
Cheerios and the
too.
project
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit.
That one was
Oh
funny.
yeah, that was
That was
funny.
fucking
That was
funny.
funny.
That
Yeah.
was
That
good.
was good,
Was
bro.
that the one that you were talking about where somebody broke in your house and you guys didn't know?
I think
about?
it's the same
Yeah.
episode.
I think it might have
is
been.
the
Yeah.
same
How the fuck did someone break in your house and you didn't even know about? Like,
What about you, Johnny?
See, now you guys are bringing all those fucking episodes up too, so it's hard, bro.
There's a bunch of bangers,
It's
bro. We have
hard.
bangers.
Yeah.
But if I gotta choose one, I think I would go with probably the same one you guys said is the mental health, just because like not everybody talks about that shit.
That was
Yeah.
such a good
You know, so-
episode.
so
Shout
I
out
feel
to
like-
Louis.
I feel like season 2, like we're definitely gonna touch upon that more. You know, obviously we're gonna, like I said,
if
not if it's gonna happen. All right.
no, I'm
If
saying like
season-
if we touch up on something like that.
Oh no,
We
oh,
can.
We
We
can.
can.
It's gonna be
I
a whole
feel like
therapy session for me,
Yeah.
but we can.
Is
that
it-
would be a good episode. You know, that's what I'm saying.
A therapy session for Gustavo.
For everybody,
Right,
not
or
just
I'm-
him. It
Yeah.
could be for everybody.
I think
Yeah,
you
there's
need
a there's a
therapy
there's a
session.
lot of shit that it can be said, but there's certain shit that me personally I just can't talk about.
That's understandable.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
no,
you
I-
only say
yeah.
what you want
Yeah.
to.
Well, you feel comfortable with saying, then you'll
Right.
say, you know.
I think for me, it's kind of like it's already out there, and it's kind of like something that happened in my life where it's
kind of like the hair of your chest got pulled out, and you're like, all right, calm down.
Yeah. All I could do from there is just kind of explore those feelings, and then kind of like let the floodgates open. I guess
We'll see. We'll see what the future brings. Like you guys know what I'm going through in my personal life, but if it comes out in the future, I'm gonna talk about it. But as of right now, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, for season 2, we'll see.
Oh.
But I mean, I think that's probably a good way to kind of wrap things up, no?
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody said their favorite episode, though. Right?
Yeah. I think it's to the point where like we're not gonna stop the podcast, but we definitely are gonna change the frequency on how many times we do it a month. We're still trying to figure out how many times we're gonna do it. We're still trying to work on that.
Trying to explore and
things are changing. Everybody got their own personal lives. Everybody got things to do. Not that we don't have the time, because we do. But like I said, we go back to saying that we just want to make it to the point where whenever we do post something, it's something that's fucking like dope. Not something that it's gonna be rushed.
And I think also with that being said is like when we give ourselves a chance to not see each other. Well, we still see each other at work.
Right. It gives you that excitement to see the other person.
But not talk about like certain things like on a deeper level, and then we kind of see each other 3 weeks from now. We're kind of like, oh, what's been happening with you? Like,
exactly.
what's going on? Like this and that, and then we kind of like are able to talk as boys, as compas, and just kind of show it to the
bring that
viewers.
excitement, like, damn, what's up, Gustavo? Like, damn, bro, like, what happened in those 3 weeks that I haven't seen you type shit.
Even though I just saw you yesterday at work, but it's okay.
Hey.
Yeah. I also want to give a huge shout out to all like the viewers and the fucking diehard fans that supported us for real from the beginning. I know he stated this already, but it really does mean a lot, man. There was like a lot of you guys that really just supported us like a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
bro.
holy shit. Like
And
I
that's
felt
what kept us going.
Yeah, I was like, I don't deserve this type of support, but like,
thank you.
But yeah, man. There's
Like
people
shit,
that really,
I don't even know like 100 people, bro. Like what the fuck,
Dude, you know what I
More
was
than
just
100 people are watching.
You know what I was just thinking about? Like my aunt that has like that radio. My cousin that has like that radio show host in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like we were just barely starting off, bro. We didn't even have like even fucking 30 subscribers. And like I'm like, can you just shout out the podcast for us? And it was like on like some like La Buena type shit, but in Atlanta, in Georgia.
Right?
And shout out to my cousin Elizabeth, her nickname, we call her Licha. Like shout out to her because like she was like, I'm like, can you please just shout us out? Because she would always message me, oh my god, this episode was good, and she would kind of give me like feedback, like yeah, like I think as Mexicans, like we don't support each other, this and that and that. Talking about the Hyro episode, And I asked her, I'm like, Licha, if it's not too much to ask, can you just shout us out on the episode? And we have a snippet of it that Gustavo did
huge,
at one of the episodes, and she was like, oh, quiero, in Spanish, like, shout out to my cousin and, his friends or whatever, or like, compas y chelas, this and this, that and that, like, go check them out. And I'm just like, that's cool.
That felt big. I felt
like
we made it to the big leagues. I was like,
and then the little sound clip of it and shit, like when she did the shout out on air, that shit was raw as fuck.
And then you heard
bro.
the little, like, the little laugh and
all
shit.
legit, bro.
Yeah.
I was like,
dope.
holy shit. That felt like we made it. Like, I was like, wow. And that's also an experience that we can say. Like, we were shouted out on a fucking radio
show, bro.
There was somebody's mom going fucking home from work and like, ¿quién chingados es compas y chelas?
You know, it's crazy because it was like, you're already a part of it, so that was cool. So you were able to get shouted out. She was like, shout out to Jonathan, Oscar, y Gustavo, y mi primo Memo. It was cool,
that
bro.
shit was so crazy.
Shout out to my cousin Licha for that, man.
Yeah,
shout
for
out,
real.
dude.
Shout out. Man, there's so many people like it's so crazy that we barely have like a fan base, like barely. But we still have so many names to where like we can shout out.
Yeah.
So many.
Shout out to Julio, bro, for the logo.
For
shout
real.
out to
Yeah.
Julio for
For
the
real.
logo.
Shout out to Julio for the
Shout out
logo.
to Tito for winning the
Nah.
hoodie with that logo.
yeah.
You know who I think deserves the ultimate shout out, bro? I would say it's Gustavo. Ultimately, it's Gustavo because like in the beginning of this whole journey, a lot of the backbone was on Gustavo.
He was carrying this shit.
Gustavo,
He was
Gustavo,
carrying this shit.
like
Oh,
the fucking loteria card where the guy's holding the world and shit on his back. That was Gustavo, bro.
Yeah,
Like
because he was the one doing all the edits.
he was
right?
doing all the editing, and I think
Fucking
like
lazies.
I don't think we were appreciative as much as we should have been. And shout out to him because if none of these episodes have gotten edited to where they should have been, it wouldn't have. This podcast wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
A lot of this podcast
Gustavo was just fucking putting in
a
the
lot of
work
this
and
podcast has to deal with Gustavo, and I have to give a shout out
I
to
came
you,
in-
bro.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Straight
For
up,
real.
shout out to.
Don't
No,
don't do
for
that.
real,
Don't
bro.
do
If
that. Don't
if
do
it wasn't
that.
for him, bro, this whole podcast wouldn't have happened.
'cause
And
I-
I told my girl that when I told my girl what was happening with the podcast, I'm like, Straight up, this podcast wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for Gustavo.
That's true. Because then
Straight
who the
up.
fuck? Who would have been editing?
Who would have?
Yeah,
like, I wouldn't
exactly.
have like
I'm dumb as
explored.
fuck,
I'm
yeah.
like what? Like I don't know what that is. You know, like I've been a
Right.
fucking
I mean,
idiot.
even then, you still struggle to fucking
Yeah, I'm
set
like
this
so
shit up.
fucking yeah, fuck off. But
You over here like,
yeah,
so what do I do?
be like
After
it
how
do it by
many-
itself?
After how many times Gustavo told you?
yeah, but no, shout out to him, man, because he's taking the time and day to like explore new things, how to like
Yeah.
edit, what
Yeah,
to
that's
use,
true.
the softwares and everything. So
Because yeah, you
shout
when
out to you, bro. Cause
you pushed me to fucking like get better at my editing.
yeah, you
Yeah.
pushed me to wanting to edit, and then like I wouldn't have. I've never had a MacBook before, so when he told me it was like, oh yeah, I think we should all start editing. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a MacBook and
Yeah.
I mean, that's
And
the only
then
reason
when
why
I said that, I was already kind of like, man, y'all fuckers gotta do something. You know, like that's
Yeah.
why it's. I already had my.
It was already starting to
Yeah.
burn out.
Like, point is, I appreciate the shout out, bro. I think that's one of the reasons why I was like kind of frustrated in the beginning, but once everybody kind of started getting into the
Taking
fold
part.
and everybody started getting into it, I was like, this
Give him a
definitely
kiss.
helps.
Lighten your load for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
give him a kiss later.
Yeah, but all right, guys. Well, with that being said, man, this has been another episode of Compas y Chelas. It's not gonna be our last episode. That's 100% for sure. It's not the last one. We are taking a break. But with that being said, big shout out to everybody that's here. You know, thank you guys for bringing me into the podcast. It's been a fucking dope ass experience. But yeah, man. With that being said, thank you everybody for the people that were there to listen to our podcast. The people that were there to give us feedback. We appreciate it. I'm not gonna go on a rant and go back into that whole and just giving shout outs, but thank you for everything. We will be back and we will make better content and more
Back
blogs
and
to
better
come.
than ever.
Bet,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But with
Perfect.
that being
And I do want to say one more thing though. Although I can be a bit of a hard ass sometimes, so like fuck y'all. But nah, crazy. Man, I love you guys. This has been like a.
All right, he's drunk.
Yeah, I am drunk.
I love you guys.
Shout out
Nah,
to you
but
guys.
realistically, like this has been like a very good experience to my life. Like I said, even if this was never to start up again, it was like a memorable experience in my life, and I'm glad I was able to
Mhm.
share that with you guys. This group right here, you're all pieces of shit, but I love you guys each individually.
We all make one
that's-
big old pile of shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, one big old pile of turd.
Hey.
But
Big old turd. Like
Yes, sir.
that- that's the last thing I wanted to happen.
But
Love
with
you
that,
too, bro.
yeah. With that
Cheers
being
to
said, cheers to that. For real.
Cheers to that, boys.
Cheers.
To the hiatus
The
of Compas y Chelas, to the pause of Compas y Chelas.
And as we said, it's not a goodbye. It's a see you later.
And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to follow us on all our social medias. Subscribe, do your thing, share with your people.
We'll be back.
We'll be back 100%. And then with that being said, big shout out to Compa Johnny Boy.
Adios, everybody, but not for long.
Big shout out to Compa Memo.
Peace, everybody.
And big shout out to Compa Gustavo.
All right, fuck off.
And big shout out to myself, your boy Asquizo.
Super Askizo.
Super
Super
Askizo.
Askizo.
AKA Alien Boy, AKA E.T. Yeah, you know the vibes.
AKA
You know the vibes.
Fat Boy over here. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Follow us on all our social medias. So peace.
Later,
Adios,
everybody.
everybody.